Hey guys, painting a race car today. Actually, I'm going to paint it today, but probably tomorrow. I'm going to prep it today. Real simple. Wash it with a wax and grease remover. Everyone's had their dirty dick beaters on it, and there's fingerprints everywhere on it. Once you wash it, which I already did, the next thing you do is scuff the surface, so your paint will stick to it. For this, I'm using just a DA with 320 on it. That's on the old paint. The newer panels, I'm going to use a Trizac pad, which is basically a Velcro pad, sort of, kind of, with a scuff pad stuck to that. When I get to that part, I'll show you. But all these old the white panels with the paint on them, I'm just 320ing them. Then the new panels, they're getting a scuff pad. Okay, I'm scuffing now. I wanted to show you the Trizac thing. And what it is, it's a Velcro back and pad. I guess it's Velcro. Then it takes an interface pad, which is just a soft foam pad. And the Trizac paper itself is a special paper. This is 800, and it feels, fuck, I don't know. This feels like 1500 wet and dry. But anyway, when you're scuffing your car up to have adhesion for painting it, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can use a scuff pad, and you can sit and do every fucking nook and cranny. If it's not scuffed, nothing's going to stick. You can get sandpaper, sand it. You can do what I did with the roof. Use, 320 or 400 and buzz the whole car. What I found that I like is doing the Trizac interface and scuff pad. Put the air to it and just go. You don't have to worry about sanding through like you do with paper. As you can see, it scuffs, it dulls the finish, does a good job. Once you do it with a machine, you go over the whole car with a machine, then after, get another scuff pad and do all your little nooks and crannies that you can't get with a machine. This saves a lot of time, a lot of fucking work. When I'm doing, a scuff and squirt, something like this, that's how I do it. Hey guys, just want to show you this real quick. When you're doing this with a machine like that, that pad can't get into your reveal lines. So you gotta go in after by hand or before, it don't matter. Probably before would be better, that way, because you're gonna be scuffing out past that line, by hand. And when you run through after with the machine, they'll smoothen these out a little bit. But basically what you're going to do is get that fucking scuff pad right in the, in there. Get it in, get all the shine off. You need to scratch that surface good. Now if you do this wet, of course you get rid of a lot of dust. A lot of times I'll do it dry, then wash it after. I'm not good with this. I don't want to get water all through his fucking race car. Might not look like much, but he has a lot of money in this thing. So we'll keep it dry. I just have to blow it off. Wipe it really good and wash it good with just a chemical. But yeah, your scuff pad, get in all your fucking body lines, because you can't get into the machine. Then once you wipe it all off and wash it with your degreaser, your final wash, look at it really good for fucking shiny spots. If you see them, make them unshiny. Hey, I'm masking this up. I use plastic. I rarely use paper anymore. I'm back masking. Some call it reverse masking. I don't know. I call it back masking. And what that is, you're putting tape on your inside with a sticky facing out. Let me show you how this works. I like using the plastic because, well, it draws static electricity. That means there's less shit you can get in the paint and go to the plastic. But anyway, normally, when I take this up, I usually take the fucking sheet of plastic and come over the whole car. Then, you know, push around where it's taped and cut out all around it. It's a lot of waste of plastic. You know, all this is going to get thrown away. So what I'm doing it in sections. You know, just pulling the piece off and cutting it. You know, I got the trunk covered. Now this is the piece I cut off that would normally go in the trash can. I could almost do the back window with it. You know, I could do the side window here, but what I'm going to do, so I can show you, I'm just going to do this fucking support window. When you're doing your plastic, you want to try to get it tight. See how I'm stretching the plastic and pushing it into the tape? No, that doesn't stop the plastic from shaping. Because when this plastic's moving, it can stir up dust. So ideally, you want it tight as you can get it. Then you come in with a razor blade and just lightly drag this down the plastic and pull. Just like that. When I'm doing a paint job or something other than this, you know, like say your car or whatever, something you care about. Well, this is just a race car. I go around it after and take the plastic down. It's just a precaution event, you know, the plastic coming up and any overspray getting underneath of it. So when you cut, don't cut right on your line. Cut your plastic back a little bit so you have room for the tape to go in there. So your tape is actually on tape and on plastic. You know, and this is what you're looking for in the end, is just, you know, I'm taping on the inside, back side of the panels. You know, instead of like taping right here, I'm taping on the inside, back side. So I'm going to get paint, you know, this is going to get paint when the car's getting painted, and there's going to be no tape line here. Not that it really doesn't matter on this fucking race car, but that's how I do a car, so it's just habit for me to do it this way. Where I could have taken the tape and taped it right here on this body line, you know, on the roll, and covered this and left this black, the guy wouldn't have gave a shit. But it looks shitty. So there it is. That's how I mask. But it's a little time consuming, but it's a bit of a job. And if you're actually painting your car, like say this is your Monte Carlo SS, and, you know, you got your fucking 3D3 in it, and you got your mags on it, and you know, you don't like the color. Maybe it's that fucking baby blue color, and you hate it, and you want it black or whatever, and you want to paint it. If the body looks good, the paint's good, all you need to do is scuff it with that scuff pad. But I advise pulling the glass out. Take the fucking door apart, pull your door handles out, your lock out, and get in there on the inside of that, some white tape, and cover the hole so your overspray's not going in there and getting on your glass and all that shit. But the reason I suggest people to do that is you pull these out, and you get in here and scuff, you've got total adhesion in here. With the window in place and your rubber's in place and shit, you can't scuff up to that rubber, and you can't tape it and not get any paint on that rubber, and you're not, sometimes you even fuck up and come off the rubber and get onto your car. So say you take that fucking blue car and tape it up, you paint it black and you unmask it, sometimes you can see blue along your edges where you weren't on your fucking rubber or on your trim. And after a few years, where you didn't sand up to that fucking trim, that rubber, it's going to peel. So if you want to do it right, do a nice clean job, have a glass guy come down. They don't charge much to pull the glass out and put it back in. It's not that bad, and it's worth it. But anyway, that's my 2 fucking cents. Okay, I want to show you this even though I don't feel I should have to. But I've seen people fucking, I don't know, not notice it or whatever. See where it says spray this side? If you can't read that correctly, you're spraying the wrong side of the fucking plastic. If you put it on your car and it's like that, wrong. The reason for this, when you paint, you're going to have overspray on your plastic naturally. Then you're going to clear coat it. Well, what happens is the paint will stick to this side, but not the other side that well. So when you come in here and put your color on, then you wait, I don't know, usually a half hour for it to air out, set up, and you come back and hit it with your clear. You can actually have little flakes coming off this plastic and landing into your fucking paint job, which you don't want. So make sure you're spraying the right side if you're using plastic. If you use paper, it really don't matter unless you use a newspaper. They got a lot of stipple holes in the newspaper from when they get dragged through a machine. Check the fucking paper good, and when you see the holes, just run a row of tape down them. I don't suggest using newspaper, especially if you're going to be doing stripes or anything like that. If you're just painting the car, if that's what you have, go for it. I mean, hell, I've used it. I've used it for years when I was a kid. But I've learned the hard way by using it, doing stripes or whatnot. When you're painting, like say you paint this black, and you want to do a couple, I don't know, pearl white stripes or silver stripes on it. When you tape the fucking stripes out around the stripes and you mask everything off of your newspaper, especially up through the middle, and you come in there with the paint, your white paint, and then what happens is the chemicals react with the ink and the dyes in the newspaper, and it can actually transfer the fucking, like the writing from the newspaper onto your car. I learned that the hard way on a fucking pearl white car. Did black stripes on it. I put the black down, came back in, I don't know, 5 minutes, and peeled the fucking paper off. I could read where it said Bangor Daily News on the fucking hood. So that wasn't cool. That kind of sucked. And that's when I started, buying automotive masking paper. I have some here. If you're using that before you paint your car, it's a good idea to take the tack rag and run it over your newspaper, because it's got like little fine, I don't know, paper particles, I guess. But the key thing is trying to keep it clean, especially when you're painting in just a garage. I know there's going to get dust in this thing. There's no way around it. But if I take all the precautions prepping this car, like tack ragging the fucking paper down and stuff first, that's less dust that's going to be in it. You know what I mean? Okay, here it is all masked up. I don't know much to say, I guess. Right now I gotta wash everything with a chemical. First I'll wipe it off with a towel, just a regular bath towel, get most of the dust off. Then I'll wash it with a wax and grease remover in the final wash. Then I'll run a tack rag over it. Sorry, I'm fucking tired. Oh. Where this car is multiple color, I don't know if I mentioned it before. To get this car to cover, if I come in here with a paint gun and blow a coat of fucking paint on this, which by the way is Viper Blue, this would look good, this wouldn't. I would have to put, I don't know, 6 fucking coats onto the white and the white only before I could even think about painting the car, and that's too much. So that's when you'd want to use a sealer. Like say if you go, you buy a fucked up car and you go to a junkyard and you buy all these different color parts, and they're all good, and you scuff them up, but you have a multi-colored car, put a coat of sealer on it. For one, it's going to seal in all your old paints and shit that are on that car, but two, it's going to get, make the car one color and save you from buying fucking primer and priming the whole car and sanding it. I see that way too much. That's a box of shit. Yeah. Now, the night before I do any paint work, I flip the cans upside down, and that gets all the solids and all your metallics from stuck off the bottom of the can. And this is a sealer, it's ready to spray. It's just a gray. Put a coat of that on it before I can paint. But first, I got to do the bumpers. These are raw, the raw rubber plastic bumpers, and they suck. The adhesion, to get proper adhesion to them, they're a pain in the ass. So we use this. All you got to do is wash these really good. Run a fucking scuff pad over them, wash them again. And the reason you're going to wash these really good, you got to use a special rubber bumper cleaner, which I don't have. I got to swing to the work and get some. These are made in the mold, kind of like fiberglass parts. And these are shit called mold release. And it's, I think it might be a silicone-based fucking product. I'm not sure. But anyway, it leaves like a slimy, filmy residue. And you're going to wash that off fucking good. Because any of that residue is going to cause you adhesion problems. It's going to cause you fisheye. It's a pain in the ass. But it's doable. Now I still got to order a clear coat because the place that I got the material from didn't have the clear I wanted, so I got to get it from CarQuest. But this will give you an idea of the cost of materials for painting a car. Now keep in mind, this is just a race car. It's being done as cheap as possible. The clear I'm using is DuPont. That's all I use. I won't use like a TrainStar clear or fucking Napa clear. Or, I use DuPont clear or House of Color clear or PPG. I've been using that platinum clear from Keystone. I like it, but I don't use it on something that I really give a fuck about. Like, say, if you dropped off your Chevelle to me and you paid me $100 a day to do a frame-off restoration, I would not use that fucking clear. I would use DuPont, PPG, or House of Color. Preferably House of Color if you can afford it. But House of Color it's a whole different fucking bank account. But anyway, just this few things right here. I'll give you an idea of shit. Right there. You got two quarts of clear. 2 quarts of sealer. You got the bumper cladding, the color reducer, a respirator, and some fucking tape. That's $470, and that's not even counting the clear, which is going to be, another $100. So just the materials alone, and that's not counting fucking sandpaper and all that bullshit. So, like, say this was a car that you had to fix and do body work to. Like, say these seams here were getting fixed, I'd have to put Bondo on them, which I don't recommend because it doesn't stick to aluminum rivets good, but that's how they do them. Is you'd fill that with Bondo and take sandpaper and sand it all fucking flat. Now that's more material. You know, last I knew, a gallon of Bondo was, I don't know, 50, 60 fucking dollars. You know, so it adds up quick. So you're talking, just to, you know, to do a car cheaply, just materials alone, you're talking, you know, $700 to $1,000 in just materials. You know, the fucking $200 paint jobs are long gone. Yeah, you can do it cheaper with, like, equipment enamel. Throw some reducer in it, hardener in it, spray it, and you get what you get. But you're real limited on colors. You know, you go like your Farmall red, your fucking John Deere greens, you know, school bus yellow, black, white, and like a fucking weird blue, like a Crayola crayon. That's about it. Shitty colors. But anyway, I had to call CarQuest, get some clear sent up, and get this thing cleaned up. And as you can see, I'm using tire covers. If you're painting your car and you care about it, I don't recommend it. Do the back mask. Take a piece of fucking 2-inch tape and run it along here with a sticky facing out. And you can stick your plastic to it, cut it here, and your plastic will hang all the way around your car. Why? Okay, I had to fucking go empty out the fucking camera because the memory disk got filled up. These things are, these fucking movies, I gotta have, you know, or kind of a pain in the ass to do. But anyway, where was I cut off? Oh yeah. These fucking things are nothing but dust magnets. You can see that or not. A lot of shit fucking collects on them. And when you come through with your paint gun, you can blow a lot of it off. But this is just a race car. It's not a Winston Cup car either. It's just a fucking local roundy round. Like I said, there's going to get dust in this anyway, no matter what I do. Anyway, I had to call and get clear. I don't have the garden hose out yet because it's still frozen. I got those little pump-up garden sprayer things. So I'm going to fill that up with water. And I'm going to spray the floor around, like, underneath that hood. Because you set a hood up like this, and you come through with your paint gun. When you come off that edge, you're blowing, depending on what you're using for a gun, but roughly around 30, 40 pounds at your floor. And that's going to stir up dust. And you don't want that. It's okay, the dust is there, but you don't want to stir it up. Because when you do, it's going to lay it in your fucking paint. So I get it wet all the way around the hood, around the car and the trunk, around the doors. Because after I put down a few coats, I'm going to fucking go inside and throw my feet up for a few minutes, let this paint set up. And when you open the door, of course, a gust of wind will come in. So wet around your doors. The underneath that furnace, I'm going to wet this whole area in here because the air comes out the bottom of that furnace and it will blow dust directly at the car. Don't want that, so I'm going to wet the floor down good there. I think that's it. I'm going to go get the bumper cleaner. Then I'm going to throw in a pair of gloves. These are what I use. Just diamond latex. You know, just latex fucking gloves. I have some vinyl ones here. I got when I was doing some fiberglass work because I ran out and Rite Aid's right down the road, but they didn't have any fucking latex, so I had to get these things. They suck. They don't stretch. They shit. They suck. So I recommend getting the latex, you know, unless you're allergic to it. But I gotta put the gloves on. You always want to wear gloves. I should have wore gloves when I was sanding it, but it's not a big deal. It's, you know, it's a race car. But it's a good habit to do, even when you're doing something that you don't really care about a lot. It doesn't matter. But it's, you know, it's to form your habit of putting that glove on when you're fucking sanding. Because you should have them when you're sanding. Stop the fucking grease and shit from your hands transferring to your paint surfaces. And when you're washing, you definitely want to wear gloves. For one, you're always leaning on the car as you're washing. until it keeps the chemicals off your hands. Mine, it don't matter. I can hit mine with a fucking blowtorch in there. They don't even give a shit. But if you got your little sissy dishpan hands, the chemicals might react to your hands and dry them out. You know, mine are all dried up anyway. I think that's it. Oh, I'm going to get a can of spray bomb of etching primer so I can hit these bare metal places. Saves me from mixing up etching primer. Just get a spray can of DuPont. And it's a good idea, if you're painting your car and you sand through in the areas, to hit them with an etching primer. That's the correct way. Technically, you can put sealer over this. Technically, you can even put paint on it. But it might ring on you. But at the very least, it's not going to have any adhesion there. So you want to hit them with with an etching primer. And I think that's it. I had to call CarQuest, get a couple things, and put condoms on my hand and fucking wash this car. So, I'll be back. Hey, I'm back, quicker than expected. I just want to make a little note here. When you're washing your car, I see a lot of people, even in fucking shops, doing it. They'll take the top off, they'll take a rag, get the rag wet, wash the fucking area, come back, get the rag wet again, wash some more, and keep doing that. You don't want to fucking do that. And I seen one guy at a shop put it into a container like this, and then what he was doing, he would dunk his drag, wash, dunk it, wash. So you don't want to do that either. Put it in a fucking spray bottle, whether you buy a fucking just a pump bottle or one of the actual auto body pump up spray bottles. They're like $60. And the reason you don't want to do these fucking two processes of dunking or wetting your rag with your can, when you dunk it, you put this to your can and pour onto it, or you dunk it in there, and you come up here and you wash that fender, then you take the other rag and wipe it off. You dunk that again, you just contaminated this fucking stuff with whatever's on this rag and was on your fender. Following along? Exactly. Make common fucking sense? Exactly. Common sense are rare commodities these days, though. So, I just want to fucking share that with you. Okay, I got the bumper cladding on. I'm getting ready to seal. I gotta wet the floor again because, well, it's dried up. But when you're putting the cladding on, it doesn't go on heavy, and you have to wait a long time before you fucking put anything else on it. As a can. Now, if you read the directions, or directions, however you want to pronounce it, it tells you to wait. It says allow bumper and cladding coat to dry at least 60 minutes. So you're going to wait a fucking hour at 75 degrees. Well, it's not quite 75 in here. The car's not 75. So I've been waiting probably about an hour and a half. If I was at work in the booth, I could throw it on a bake cycle and wait like 15 minutes and go. But anyway, I'm getting ready to put the sealer on. As you see, I'm all suited up. I got a mask. It's brand new. Fucking bag is getting old. Fucking rigor mortis setting in. That's what I use. I only use these one per car. I will paint this car with this. I'll seal it, paint it, clear it with this mask and these pre-filters. Then over there I've got a box up there of pre-filters. And I'll change those, and then I'll use this mask for sanding. And the next time I paint, I'll buy a new mask. These aren't really designed for painting. They don't really strain out the isocyanates that's in the fucking hardeners and the clears. But they are better than nothing. I recommend buying paint suits. They're only like $30. Buy one with a hood, especially if you have hair. I also spray my hair with water. Normally I hop in the shower before I paint, but hey, I already had one last week, so can't push it. Okay, I've got everything sealed. Used almost 2 quarts. And I just mixed up the color. And this base is a 1-to-1. That's 1 part paint, 1 part reducer. I've been through that with other videos. Read your directions, mix it by the instructions. I'm using a medium reducer. This is going to set up fairly quick. The trick is the clear coat. I gotta cool the place off. The clear. So I'm using the fast clear. And you can use mixing cups or you can use mixing sticks for your ratios. The choice is yours. The cups are simple and easy and very accurate. Painting. What do you want? I can't tell you how to paint. Everyone paints different. I like a nice wide pattern, a wet pattern. I put it on. I've seen some people spray, like me. They start in the middle and work their way out. And they'll come down the pillars about here, and on the sides, come into here somewhere. Then go to the other side and go back in the middle and work your way out. And same thing, come down your pillars just like you did on this side. Then come back over here and keep on painting. You want to go side to side, and remember where you're leaving off, and keep it dry, and keep it wet where you're leaving off. I've seen some people paint. They'll come here and work their way in. I don't like that because you're working on a wet surface. If I start here and start spraying, when I come into here, I'm working on top, right above wet shit. I don't want to. So I'm one of the painters that will start in the center and come outward, go the other side in the middle, and come back out, and come down the sides. Any tips? Yeah, start in your hard to reach areas. Like when I paint this fender, I'm not going to come out here and paint. I'm starting here, on the inside and in the corners. Do your jams. Get all your hard to reach areas first. Like this bumper cover, I won't come here on my first coat. My first coat, I'm going to spray inside these hard to get areas. And up underneath, inside in here. I'm going to hit all that, then come do the overall on the bumper. Same with here. When I come to do this side, I'm going to shoot up underneath the fucking rain gutter, into here, in here, and I'll get in right on the plastic. And same in here, I'll get into this window channel. Get all your hard to reach areas first. Doing your hoods and whatnot, do all your edges first. Paint your very edge, the back, get all that first. Then, do your whole panel, and then do your edges again as you're doing the whole panel. Hey Pete, normally I got a spray drawing right now. It's fucking deadly in here. This is the first coat. As you can see, it's covered. This is why I use a sealer. This is just one medium coat. Kind of have to explain that. People have different opinions on medium or wet or dry. This is what I consider a medium coat. Wet coat to me is something you gotta worry about runs on. A medium coat, you get pretty decent coverage in one pass. When you're doing this, you're not looking to get like perfect coverage on your first pass. Keep in mind, you're gonna be doing this 3 times, roughly. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. The product, it covers fucking well. The sealer makes everything one color, so it covers good, covers even. Technically, if I just clear coat this and put it outside, you'd probably see some white streaks in it here and there. Well, not white, but you'd see transparent. Like I can see something right in here. You can see some of the sealer shining through. Anyway, that's what your first coat should look like. All your nooks and crannies should be hit. Then come back, Second coat, same thing. All your nooks and crannies, just like you did the first time. Hit them first, then do the whole car again. Then your third coat, you don't have to worry so much about your nooks and crannies, but you want to keep them wet. You don't want them dry, especially with your clear. Hey, it's all done. It's still wet. I mean, it's going to sit overnight and dry, but I've got the doors open to get the overspray from the clear sucked out of here. I don't want it to just land and stick onto the car. But as you can see, it's done, and it's pretty flat, nice and wet. It's almost too bad it's a fucking old stock car. Anyway, there it is. I don't know, I really can't give advice on spraying because, one, I'm not there to see what the fuck you're having problems with. But a rule of thumb, if you're using a fast clear like this, get in fucking close and move. Or hold your distance and go fucking slow and put it on nice and wet. If you're using a slow clear, move fast. Orange peel. If you're getting orange peel, it's usually a pressure problem, not an adjustment problem. For this clear coat, I run with that gun, which is a Seda. What the fuck is it? Seda Jet 90. I run that up around 45 pounds, 40 pounds when I'm clearing. Like I say, if you're getting that textured orange peel look, it's usually you're running too low of an air pressure. Bump it up 10 pounds, 5 pounds, and try it out. But anyway, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go throw my feet up and kick back. Okay, here it is, all done, all unmasked. Trunk and hood back on. Oh my God. See it laid out nice. Been nice, you know, if it wasn't a race car, we could have taken care of all the fucking chips and nicks and whatever. The race car, it's going to be smashed out the first day on the track, so. But yeah, fucking clear, laid out nice. And they, like I said, the clears the nation's fucking select. What the fuck is it? Big mouth can right there. It's the 4-to-1. No, that's reducer. There it is. I found it. This is what I use for clear on it. It's a spot repair, dries fast. So you kind of got to go in tight and don't be scared to put it on. If it doesn't run while you're spraying it, it won't run from there on out. Where that key clear I use, I've put that on nice and fucking wet and smooth before. No runs, walk away and come back in like 20 minutes or so to put another coat on and found a run. Where the Nason's is a quick cure, it fucking sets up fast. And I use it in here to keep the dust out. But anyway, there it is. I'm gonna try to get pictures of this car once it's all lettered and add them into this video thing. I'm not gonna have a video. I'm just gonna take some pictures. But it gets a big white decal. It comes down like that with some blue stripes in it. I'm not sure the rest of the car. I know it's lettered up with a number 40 and whatnot. But Anyway, there it is. Hey, I want to take some time here to make a little comment on waste. If you don't have a lot of it, most local shops they'll probably charge you, but if it's not a lot, they probably won't. Just keep in mind they have to pay to get rid of their waste. So you might get charged. It's a small fee. If you came to work with, say, a gallon of like your leftover paint, your clear, your reducers that you rinsed your gun with and whatnot in a gallon can, you were looking to get rid of it properly, we would take that gallon and not charge you and put it in our waste barrel, and that'd be the end of it. If you have 5 gallons of waste, we're going to have to charge you. Some shops would probably charge you for that gallon. Hell, they might even charge you for a fucking quart. I don't think it's right since you're doing the right thing, but you got to keep in mind they have to pay to get rid of it, so I guess it's only fair, whatever you want to call it, for them to charge you to get rid of it. Your clears, I leave them in the cup for 2 reasons. One, to let them dry out, because once this is dried and all the chemicals are evaporated from it, you can throw it away. It's harmless after that. And 2, once you let it dry in the cup, you can pull this right out and have a clear fucking kind of cool hockey puck thing. But all the clear that's in that cup comes right out with it. So you can reuse the cup. Now my gun, I've got reducer in the gun. It's lacquer thinner. I buy it by the 5 gallons. And I keep recycling the thinner. Like next time I use that gun, I'll take that clean thinner out and I'll put it into a cup. Right? Now I get another cup. Say I mix up the color. Then I spray the car. Now I gotta clean that gun out. So I'll take this thinner that I had in the gun, put it back in the gun, shake it up, rinse it, and dump it into the cup that I mixed paint in. Like you see right here. And that way I can rinse this cup out and turn this into a fucking primer cup. Keep on cycle like that where a lot of people would rinse, take that reducer in that gun and just put it in the waste barrel. Use the gun, rinse it, and all that stuff they're using to rinse with to go in the waste barrel instead of, recycling it and using it. Am I a tree hugger? I don't know. I like wiping my ass with toilet paper instead of like a plastic squeegee. But at the same time, it really bugs me to see people fucking like throwing tires off bridges and whatnot and dumping waste oil in the backyards. In fact, there's a local guy that's scrapping. He's a real piece of shit. They had a kick for a while with the scrap cars. He had to drain all the gas and oil out of them and whatnot. Well, this fucking guy was taking this oil that he was saving and putting it like in his trash cans. If he had a lot of it, he'd go dump out in the woods somewhere. He'd just go out and dump it or throw the can out in the woods, refrigerators and whatnot. Well, he was caught. I knew he was dumping it, but anyway, I caught up with him one night doing it, and let's just say he's not going to walk properly the rest of his life, and probably not going to be dumping waste oil anytime soon either. But anyway. Yeah, if you're gonna be using this shit, be responsible enough to take care of your waste properly.